Hello and welcome to the Wee Ball Podcast. Joining Tyler and I today is the most dangerous man in college football this year. Now he's headed to the NFL and he's going to be an instant difference maker, and that is Quentin Johnston. Quentin, how we doing, man? How's it going?
It's going good, man. Everything's been, working in my favor to this point. So it's been a blessing.
Of course, man. We're gonna get right into it. We got to ask about this season because it was a storybook for you and the guys over at TCU. Just talk a little bit, like how much of a great thing is it to go into the NFL with a bunch of teammates all going in at the same time after such a great season?
Yeah, oh yeah, not for sure. It's obviously something that hasn't happened, at TC for a little minute. So just to be a part of something so special is, really great. Like I said before, it's a blessing. At the beginning of the season, we weren't even predicted to make it good in the Big 12. Let alone a playoff run and then the championship. I mean, we were voted, I guess, second to last in the Big 12 before the season even started. So we kind of came into the season with a chip on our shoulder, just took it one game at a time.
For sure, for sure. And do you think that, making it that far, being in the college football playoff, do you think that kind of experience, under the lights, playing against, the best teams in the country, do you think that that gives players like you and your teammates that are coming out this year an advantage as opposed to other prospects who may have not had those kind of opportunities in such high stakes games?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, for one, just the amount of games, because obviously going to the NFL, so it's a lot more games to be played. So just that experience with that, and then the level of competition, especially in the playoffs, and then going forward, just gets better and better. Which we're obviously going to see in the NFL. So for sure, I really think it's prepared me just that much more.
Awesome, man. And we're gonna switch gears to the combine a little bit here. Some players, everybody's focusing on the same kind of 4 to 5 things going into the combine, but every player also has that added 1 or 2 things that they have to focus on specifically because that's what people want to see from them, or that's what, scouts have told them they need to do. Did you do anything unorthodox? Were you just in the lab training every day, kind of basic training, or did you do anything like, a little bit different going into the combine?
Honestly, bro, no. Other than kind of just focusing in more. Obviously, we're not playing any games right now, but this is essentially a job interview to make it on a good team and to be drafted as high as I could. So kind of besides the actual physical work, kind of just focusing more on the mental work as far as meets and stuff. How to talk to the different coaches, how to present myself and hold a good conversation with everybody would probably be the main part.
Everybody knows that doing prospect interviews, talking on a podcast 2, 3 times a week, it comes with a necessary confidence that you have to have. And one thing that really improves confidence is the new and improved Performance Package 4.0 by Manscaped. It has arrived, and oh man, is it a game changer. Inside this package, you'll find their Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer, Crop Preserver ball deodorant, Crop Reviver toner, performance boxer briefs, and a travel bag to hold all of these goodies. First off, the Lawnmower 4.0. This trimmer is the future of grooming and, dare I say, the greatest ball trimmer ever. I am blown away by the performance and craftsmanship of this trimmer. Their fourth generation trimmer offers cutting edge ceramic blade to help reduce grooming accidents thanks to their advanced skin safe technology. Their Lawnmower 4.0 is waterproof and also has a 4000K LED spotlight so you can get a more precise shave. Because this trimmer is waterproof, you can say goodbye to the mess on the bathroom floor. If you thought that was good, but want to take your grooming even further to the next level, the Performance Package 4.0 also includes the Weed Whacker ears and nose hair trimmer. The Weed Whacker is also waterproof and provides proprietary skin safe technology, which helps reduce nicks, snags, and tugs in those delicate nose holes. The Crop Preserver below the waist deodorant and Crop Reviver below the waist toner will change the way you approach your daily hygiene routine. Manscaped even threw in 2 free gifts in this Performance Package 4.0, the boxers and the shed travel bag. Bring your comfort in boxers to another level. It's time to take care of yourself. go to manscaped.com and get 20% off with code WEBALL. That is WEBALL, WEBALL. Make sure to use it on your next purchase with Manscaped for 20% off. Definitely. And like backtracking a little bit to like, that college experience, like you said, you play, like we said earlier, you played against, some of those best teams in the country and some of the best players in the country as well. Who would you say is like one guy that you matched up with while you were, at TCU playing receiver? Who was one guy, maybe like a corner, maybe a safety, maybe just, somebody on the other side of the ball that you were like, that's somebody that I had like a fun matchup with, somebody that you looked forward to going against?
Oh yeah, sure. One of the guys that kind of matches up in size, length, and speed, just like me, just obviously on the other side of the ball would be Julius from Kansas State, 23. Obviously, big, tall, fast, DB6, all of 6'4", actually a little bit taller than me. Very physical at the line. He's gonna come bring the game to you if you're not ready. So those games I'm always looking forward to. It's always going to be not only a physical battle with him, but a mental battle because he gonna talk a little stuff like that, which is how it's supposed to go. But it's always fun matching up against him.
He's one of our guys. We got to watch him down at the Senior Bowl. He's awesome, man. And the battles between you two, in those games this season were great, bro. Like some of the best games to watch out there. I'm just gonna be honest with you. But let's talk a little bit more about you and your game. Who would you say in your childhood was like your favorite player growing up? And then who's a player that you kind of modeled your game after as you got older?
Okay, so childhood is kind of different because I wasn't always a receiver. I was kind of like a running back / quarterback, Pee Wee going into middle school, stuff like that. So I was always watching like shifty running backs like LaShawn McCoy, different players like that, and then transitioning into a receiver. I didn't really hit my growth spurt until late. So like like for a minute I was kind of thinking I was going to be more of like a slot guy, and then I hit my growth spurt.
We lost you. We couldn't hear you there for a second.
Oh, you got me?
Yeah,
You're
we
good
got you
now.
now, but yeah, we couldn't hear after you said basically like when you switched.
Okay, so then kind of transitioning into receiver, it was more like Deshaun Jackson, Tavon Austin, DeAnthony Thomas, like much more shifty, quicker guys, which you can see a lot of in my game with catching the ball, making the first two people miss, and just being a taller receiver, but also playing like a 5'8", 5'9" as well.
Definitely. And would you say that like when you watch tape today, is there something that like when you're watching receivers, whether it's NFL guys or some of your peers, who is somebody that you or some like specific skill set or specific thing that receivers do that you're like automatically attracted to on tape? Is it like releases, the way that they went at the top of the route? Is there something specific that you look at and you're like, that's fun to watch for receiver play?
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. And it's actually both of those things you said, starting with the release. Devontae Adams is somebody coming into college I watched a lot. Just his release, and then just me going back and kind of listening to his interviews and how he came across those. He played basketball growing up, and all of his moves and stuff he kind of translated to the field. Which my situation was kind of the same. I started off playing basketball. Kind of honestly thought I would have a career in basketball. Obviously, that's not the case, but a lot of those basketball moves did translate to the football field.
Sure. Speaking of basketball, we were watching some highlights. Saw a crazy block, and then you windmilled it. That was, first of all, insane. That just shows your athleticism. Yeah. But if you were to make a starting five, including you, 4 other guys from anyone in the NFL to go 82-0 in an NBA season, who are you picking in that starting five?
Me, T. Higgins, because I don't know if y'all know about T. Higgins. He can for sure who. Let me see him. T. Higgins. Probably gonna have to go Odell. Well, that's 3. Let me see who else. Who else did I just seen? Jalen Ramsey, believe it or not, for sure. And then Devontae Adams. I'm gonna have to go.
Yeah, definitely. And like, what would you say? I mean, keep talking about basketball a little bit. What would you say, maybe besides, is there any other aspect of your game that you would say on the football field that came from basketball, maybe aside from those releases?
the size releases kind of when I get the ball, my yards after the catch. I mean, like you said in my highlights, I get the ball, kind of look one way before I land, and then like spin out the other way. That's just coming from post moves and stuff. Like obviously, I wouldn't be a post in the NBA, but I'm from a small town and was mainly almost always the tallest dude. So I was forced to play that post position, and those moves just faking one way and spinning the other way kind of just stay with me.
Definitely.
Tyler, you got anything else?
I think one more thing that we were looking for, just saying, like, we heard the basketball, growing up playing two different sports. What would you say? Would you say there's something else that maybe, like, as you become more of a football player, you've found yourself doing off the field, maybe something else that you find, like, something you do spend your time on enjoying yourself when you're not necessarily playing football?
Oh yeah, for sure. Oh yeah, so it kind of started in high school. So I do some graphic design work too. So um, in high school, I got into it just to kind of fill in a spot, like for my class. I'm like, I guess I mean, it sounds cool. Let me just go ahead and go into it. Did it for 3 years. Didn't do it my senior year. Still wasn't really paying any attention to it. Then it wasn't until I was going into college, COVID year. COVID. I mean, everybody found themselves, sitting in the house all day, not really knowing what to do. And then I seen somebody make like a Michael Jordan edit on Instagram. I'm like, man, I can, do that. Tried it, start getting better at it. And then people start asking me to make like their commitment, edits, stuff like that as far as sports. And then, I just kept going from there.
That's awesome. Is that something that you still like kind of do like in your, free time, just like messing around, or is it something that,
Oh,
more as you've, focused on this, you moved away
oh
from?
yeah, no, yeah. No, I for sure find myself doing that a lot. Kind of doing that, kind of transitioning to more of like clothing brands, like designing my own brand and stuff like that.
Definitely.
Awesome, man. What's one thing we're gonna get, right into the draft part of it? What is one thing going into this draft season that you're looking forward to? Whether it's coming up to the actual draft, after the draft, or the draft itself.
Yeah. I mean, shoot, the draft itself. I mean, because like I said before, and it's something that I find myself saying a lot in my interviews. I'm from a small town. Like obviously with small towns, not a lot of people make it kind of a cliche answer, something that happens to a lot of people. But kind of just being in that moment and like having the younger kids that grew up watching me, like have something to strive for. They seen that I did it, coming from that small town. So I feel like walking across the stage that day, I wouldn't only be doing it for myself and my family, but for the younger generation looking up to me.
Definitely. And I think, you talked about the kids, you talked about the next generation. Is there something that, like, if the kids someday are like, I'm going to turn on some Quentin Johnston tape, is there something that you would be like, that's what I hang my hat on, at least, as far as college is concerned? Like, there is something that you would want them to see specifically from you, skill wise?
Yeah, for sure. Going back to my sophomore year, going to that OU game, that 3 touchdowns. Obviously, we were playing some good people, and Marvin Mims, Caleb Williams, different guys on defense and offense. So that was just like honestly coming off of COVID from the previous year. That was my first time playing in a packed stadium like that, let alone being OU. So their fan base is crazy. Obviously, it was kind of a shootout for a minute. We start getting behind by a lot, but like just my effort, throughout the game. It didn't really matter how much we were down by. Like I was still showing effort the whole game, and at the end of the day, ended up scoring 3 touchdowns, and then I got some Randy Moss gloves for that one catch that I caught on my guy that game too. So that was pretty fun.
Definitely.
All right, man. Thank you so much for coming on the show. We enjoyed talking to you, and we hope everybody listening enjoyed. If you are listening or watching, like, comment, subscribe. If you're on Spotify, leave a rating. 5 stars is preferred, but whatever you got to do, say it with your chest. And that is all for the We Ball podcast.